In manifestation, you can't trick yourself into believing anything. And that's the hardest part because belief, I would argue, is the most important thing when it comes to manifesting anything. Belief is so powerful that you don't even have to be in a high vibration or any of that type of stuff that you hear when it comes to manifestation because you automatically know what's going to happen. That knowing will bring anything into the physical world, no matter your circumstances. And these are things that I do or that I think can help you solidify your beliefs. I'm going to start off with one that I think may be a little bit controversial in the manifestation spiritual world, I don't know, but repetition. People like to dog on repetition a lot because there are people that take it too far and act like repetition is the most important thing. No, it's not that robo affirmations and stuff are the key to manifesting or anything like that, but I mean like repetition conceptually. Repeatedly hearing about this being real, authentic, working success stories, information. You don't want to overdo it because I'm notorious for that, for just like digging so deep into something. You don't need to like go that hard, but consuming media and things that are repeatedly supporting your new belief system. Notice the things others do to try to manipulate your belief system. What do? They constantly show you ads on it. You see it all the time. You hear about it all the time. People are talking about it all the time. That's it being used in a negative way, but you can switch and use that in a positive way for yourself and insert positive beliefs into your belief system using this like saturating kind of method. That's to help solidify your belief in manifestation as a whole. But now for number 2, I want you to solidify your belief that you are powerful and you are able to manifest. For that, you're going to have to take a little bit of a different route. You're going to want to look at 2 things. 1, manifest small things, how people manifest parking spots and coffee and whatever. You can take that route. If that works for you, do that because that's actually very powerful and can build your confidence. But if you're like me, where every time you would try to manifest something small, it still wouldn't, and then that would just actually disappoint me more. Because when it wouldn't happen, I couldn't help but be like, dang, bro, I can't even manifest a parking spot. I can't even manifest XYZ. Like, it would just discourage me and actually weaken my belief. But that was my mindset and my personal problem. I am not saying that is applicable to you. I'm just addressing that. So in addition to those like practice attempts, also start to be very aware of how your life is actually changing. Because over time, you will see stuff start to change if you actually pay attention. Pay attention to the social interactions that you're having. Pay attention to the things that keep happening to you, that you keep being in the right place, right time, and just little things. It doesn't have to be crazy money. Just look at how your life is literally changing over time. If you're being consistent, you're practicing the emotional control stuff we talk about here already, you're just living your life. Pay attention and connect the dots for things. Like I'll mention how like I was specifically manifesting an Apple Pay from a specific person in my life just to see like, oh, will this actually happen kind of thing. And then it didn't happen when I wanted it to, and I was disappointed. And then it happened a couple days later, and basically they sent me money because they had me go and get something for them, and then they decided to pay me back. I told them they didn't have to pay me back later. I forgot, blah 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 blah, all to the point of getting that money. And because it was such a weird, complex route, I didn't think about it at first. And then I realized like, oh my gosh, I manifested this. The universe is orchestrating things in very creative ways beyond what you're actually capable of thinking of. And so really look, or even small things, like I've manifested my performance in a sport, literally mid-game, visualize something and was able to go and execute it. And I can explain, I think I talked about that on here already at some point, but whatever. So yeah, keep experimenting with your creation, no matter how frustrating it feels at first. And lastly, arguably the most important one is your belief in your actual manifestation, your belief in it actually coming to fruition at some point. Many will say not to even say that, and you have to believe that you have it right now. I'm a little more flexible on that, just given my personal experience. Before I even knew about manifestation, I manifested stuff in the future tense all the time. And I just can see in hindsight what was going on. That technically that was manifestation. But at the time, I didn't know nothing about this. So how I word things is very dependent on what I'm manifesting, and that's just my personal thing. But this is going to be really irritating to hear possibly because it used to annoy me all the time, but that really just comes down to a choice that you make. You get to a point where you just decide, you're like, no, I know XYZ is going to happen, or I know XYZ is happening, and you just really stand on that. There's a strong connection between that and the I think stubborn people manifest easier video I made at some point. Standing on business with a manifestation is really like what's going to bring that to the real world. And sometimes it just takes hearing confirmation from the right person, right place, right time, right video. You're in the right mood. You're in the right level of receptivity. But it is just absolutely not something that could be forced or faked, even to yourself. And four, if I didn't say this already, looking at past evidence in your life. So look at stuff in hindsight. Look well before, well beyond you first started getting into manifestation or any of that. Just look at your life across the board and the thoughts and mindsets and beliefs you had during critical events in your life. Look at stuff in hindsight. I hope this was helpful. I believe is like the hardest part of manifestation. Comment if you have any tips below. I'm sure we would all love to hear that. And follow if you want to join the conversation. This is what we'll be talking about around here.